So wanted to just make ourselves available to answer any questions about some of the activity that's taken place since the bell rang, so to speak, last week. It's been an interesting time. We've been obviously monitoring what rules will come out of the ongoing negotiations, and we're really prohibited from discussing anything with respect to the ongoing CBA negotiations, but we should have everything in place and in terms of rules and a deal potentially ratified as early as tomorrow, and training camp looks like will be beginning sometime on Friday. That would also be the same time where we would be in a position to initiate player transactions. But it's been a long time since we've uttered the names of our players. I'm sure there's a lot of questions. We've had one opportunity to address some season seat holders. It was the three of us here, and it was liberating to be able to actually say someone's name. But if you have any specific questions about our current roster, about some of our intentions, we'll try to tell you what we can. Some of this, again, is still limited by the ongoing rules with respect to general free agency, but also, again, with respect to the ongoing CBA negotiations. So we'll answer what we can.
Last season, are any of those on the radar for this year?
Yeah, I think we've had ongoing conversations with the player representatives for those individuals. You're referring, of course, to Reggie Evans, Julian Wright, et cetera. We have a lot of other pieces in play right now, and I would not say that signing or re-signing any of those individuals has become a key priority, but we will continue to monitor. We've got, again, a number of different options that we can pursue here. But one thing I will tell you is that we've got a plan in place. I think you've all heard me say this. We're going to stick to that plan, and that plan is to basically remain as flexible as possible. We want to develop our young players. We want to preserve that cap flexibility moving forward. And we want to continue to add pieces that we think are parts of a championship puzzle. And we may, in fact, take this opportunity in free agency to go short and sign some one-year players or acquire players with 1 year on their contract. And, again, sticking to the plan, have as much flexibility as possible, allow the players that we do have, the young players like DeMar DeRozan, Ed Davis, et cetera, to develop, get as many minutes as possible, continue to blossom as young athletes in this program and take it to the next step. But, Coach, why don't you say something about that?
Well, the main thing with the development is I want guys to earn their position, earn their spots, earn their minutes, which we will do, and definitely develop on the defensive end. Offensively, I thought Jay and the staff did an excellent job last year of pushing that step forward, of becoming a very up-tempo, scoring-minded team. Now we got to get the defensive side of it going. Preserve that momentum they had offensively, but then to focus on the defensive end and get guys better as a team, also individually, defensively. I think that's the key thing going forward.
Again, part of sticking to this plan, we talked about it last year. It took a lot for me to say the word rebuild. We're not talking about rebuilding anymore. I'm stealing a line from Coach Casey. What we're talking about now is building. And so everything that we do in terms of adding pieces, bringing new things in, it's going to be about creating a new culture, a new system, implementing that system, and again, maintaining and sticking to the plan. But we're past rebuilding. We're now in the building phase. And again, I'm going to credit Coach Casey with that catch, because he didn't want to hear that word anymore. This is about growth going forward, and that's the kind of growth and anticipation that we're excited about.
Going
for some, maybe possibly some shorter-term contracts. Does that mean that we shouldn't expect you to go after a big splash, maybe a bigger name, and maybe overpay a bit for a bigger long-term contract?
Yeah, it's and I'm going to let Ed address this a little bit. Every time I kind of get lured back in, it proves Ed's worth to the equation, because he said, hey, I'll tackle you on the way to the phone if you want to pursue that. But it's the kind of thing that we really feel that we not only have those young, talented pieces as part of this core, but we need to allow the new coaching staff to see exactly what we have, to determine how impactful those players can be, where the growth of this team can take us. But then you look forward, and there's so much to be excited about even beyond this year, that you've got potentially, just based on adding the players that we have now, adding Jonas Valanciunas to the mix next season, adding another draft pick that we've plugged in at a placeholder number. We're going to have a lot of cap flexibility, anywhere from $10 to $20 million of cap flexibility. That is a significant opportunity in and of itself, but to say that we've got good young talent, adding two more significant pieces, and potentially a significant free agent or two, it really does lend itself to the thought that this plan is in place. We shouldn't alter that plan. We shouldn't detract from that. Again, if there is an opportunity to sign someone, there's a few players that we think are good system pieces, good culture pieces, and we've talked about that. But to say that we're going to race out and sign someone to a significant contract is probably not the case, unless it's a one-year deal. We have contemplated a few of those scenarios, or acquiring a player in a trade with a one-year scenario. So, Ed, do you want to say anything else about that?
You know, everyone obviously up here is very competitive. And when you have some cap space and you have chances to use money and you see names out there, you get excited because we could improve the team quickly, but not improve the team into what we want to be, a championship caliber team. So we really have to be careful that some of these names are sexy to us right now, and we have some money, but by the, we're going to get better as in the next couple of years. To spend that money right now, as Brian said, we don't think it's a wise situation, and there'll be plenty of people out there, and we'll have plenty of chances with trade options, with being under the cap and having cap space. And as Brian alluded to, the coach, we got to see these young guys, and they're going to get a lot of minutes on the floor, and then the coach can make his evaluation, Brian and I can make ours, and then make a real good decision on who we need and what pieces. But it's very difficult, and I understand where Brian is, because I've always been in the same spot. It's a lot easier as the number two guy to slow the number one guy down, because we want to get better, and you want to get better as soon as possible, but we have to stay the course.